Hi, I'm Jillian and welcome to the show. I offer spiritual growth for the rebel soul, guiding you through the labyrinth of your own ascension path. This show is for the rebel souls that challenge the status quo, those that crave authenticity in every single aspect of their lives, that desire to embrace their uniqueness, follow their passions, connect to their soul, and live according to who they truly are, even if that means having the courage to go against the grain or the norms of society. If that's you, my spiritual soul seeker, rebel warrior, then this is the place for you. On this podcast, we speak about everything from spirituality, sexuality, conscious relationships, business, and literally everything in between. So if that's your jam, then stay tuned. And go on, be a rebel and subscribe. You know you want to. Do you identify as an empath? Yes, I hear you chant. And have you had some level of unexplained pain, chronic illness, or disease in your life that you haven't really been able to get to the bottom of? If the answer is yes, then this episode is for you. So I work with a lot of empaths because empaths are usually very intuitive. You have a heightened sense of being able to feel the emotions and the energies of people, places, and situations. We take it to the next step, which is how I help my clients. I probably identify that maybe your dominant psychic sense is clairsentience, which means clear feeling, which means that's like empathy supercharged. And when you can master your empathy and your ability to feel so deeply, it can become a psychic superpower. But when most people haven't done that, they can get a lot of chronic illnesses. And I know firsthand because I had them all. And there's a couple of reasons why people that are so empathic, that feel so deeply, that have latent clairsentient abilities, end up getting levels of chronic pain or unexplained pain or chronic illnesses throughout their life. And it's because, one, you naturally absorb the emotions and energies of others. Like, you are literally an energetic sponge, and you are taking on a lot of the time the problems and the issues of the people around you and the people in your life. And when you don't have strong energetic boundaries, you can be like absorbing everyone else's shit like a sponge. And of course, what happens like from an energetic standpoint when you're taking on everyone else's stress and emotions and thoughts, when you're carrying everyone else's baggage, of course you're going to start feeling emotionally overwhelmed. Of course you're going to get stressed. And over time, all of that like unprocessed emotional energy will manifest itself physically. And my friends, this is what chronic conditions come from. Like, I've seen people get autoimmune disorders, migraines, headaches, digestive issues, throat issues. I mean, I had them all. I had them all when I was a teenager, and actually at many different periods of my life. Also chronic fatigue or exhaustion. Like, these are all things that you've probably even gone to the doctors for at some level, and they've kind of maybe given you a diagnosis, maybe haven't. Also, another one is sleep issues, insomnia, having issues with sleep. This is also another big one, and again, a big one that I had too. So the fact that you're like absorbing everyone else's crap and you don't have good boundaries to be able to deflect those, you're, like I said, it's just like you're carrying all the emotional baggage of everyone around you, your family, your friends, your exes. But also for a lot of people that are so empathic, you're also here to be the chain breaker of trauma in your ancestral line and your family line. So you could also be unknowingly carrying all the burdens through your DNA. And that can be causing, again, a lot of these kind of health issues that might be coming up for you. Another reason as well is that a lot of empaths experience like heightened stress responses to a lot of like external stimuli or different emotional situations, because again, you can feel so friggin' deeply. Like emotions overwhelm you, and like you can kind of shut down, and because again you may not have the right tools to be able to protect your energetic field because it's so sensitive. Like this can really impact your nervous system. And for a lot of you, you might feel like you're just constantly in this state of fight or flight for like extended periods, this state of just constant activated stress. And obviously, even science proves this. It's like when you are in a state of fight or flight for an extended period, that is naturally going to weaken your immune system. It's naturally going to exhaust you, disrupt your hormone levels, and impact like inflammation in your body. So, there's a huge linkage to headaches, and look, I'm not a doctor, guys, so, I'm not fully diagnosing these, but this is from my experience, this is from my clients, this is from my own experience and my own research, that the stress hormones can impact, again, all these different levels, your digestion, gut issues, hormone issues. So many things. Like you just have to look at any of the scientific papers, and there's so many linkages with the impact of stress on your body. And this is why for empaths, it's so important to have self-care, have boundaries, have time and space away from people and the busyness and the emotions of others, so you can actually take time to like reset your nervous system and, do things like breath work, do things like meditation, go out in nature. Like, because you're just the feelers of the world, it is so important that you are not in any toxic environments, and that's workplaces, relationships, family. Like, you really, really need to look after yourself and not be around the people or places that can really heighten you. And I know that can be quite challenging at times because, we can't control those around us. But again, this is just something that could absolutely be contributing to these unexplained health issues that you might be feeling or have felt in your life. And another thing that I do see is that a lot of empaths spend a lot of time in, with their heightened intuition, because again, if you're clairsentient, you have such a heightened state of awareness and intuition that you are receiving information through the universe, through spirit, through other people, as through energy, but you are receiving that through feelings, sensations, feelings in the body, even like taking on like other people's physical ailments, because that's how you're receiving your psychic information. That's how your intuition works, is through the feeling. So it can be really confusing when you're picking up like a pain or an ailment and you actually don't know if it's yours or if it's someone else's, because you could be picking that up and that could be a message for you or for them. But again, if you don't know how to work with this gift, because it is a gift, guys, when we learn to work with it and when we learn to use it, it is absolutely a gift. But when you don't know how to work with it or have the tools to, for example, like ground yourself, then you can become really disconnected from your own body, because, when you're not grounded, when you're feeling all of this stuff, it's so easy for you to try and like disconnect from feeling in your body. And obviously when you're disconnected from your body, it makes you obviously more susceptible to physical imbalances and illnesses. So grounding is honestly one of the key things for any of the feelers out there in the world. Having time to ground yourself on the earth, even visualize ropes or anchors going into the core of the earth, taking some time to do a meditation first thing in the morning and last thing at night, getting your bare feet on the ground. Like, I can't explain how very simple that is, but yet how effective that is for anybody that is empathic or anyone that's clairsentient out there. Just get your bloody feet out on that grass or in the sea or wherever it is. It is going to be so beneficial for you, honestly. And I've mentioned this already, but my beautiful empaths, because you are the people pleasers of the world, you often, more than not, you're always prioritizing the needs of everyone else in your life above your own. And that unfortunately can be the detriment of your health. Like, you being so cautious to help other people or not upset the apple cart or not make anyone feel a kind of way, because one, you can feel that and you don't want to feel anything bad from them towards you. You are like overextending yourself constantly. You're always helping. You're the one that's always saying yes to things. You're taking on more work. You're, helping your friend do X, Y, and Z at the weekends. And you're just not actually prioritizing, firstly, your own needs and what you actually want to do. And unfortunately, when we neglect our own self-care, when we neglect our own needs, and when you're constantly like just caregiving or doling out the emotional support for everyone else, like, you can just feel like burnt out. You can feel exhausted, and actually this can lead to a lot of resentment. So obviously all of those things, burnout, fatigue, resentment, overextending yourself, of course that's going to lead to potential health issues, because you're not looking after your own body, you're not looking after your own emotions, you're not looking after your own needs. And it's like, there's only a point where you can't keep filling up someone else's cup because you're not filling your own. So what is the message to you? You gotta fill up your own cup. Like, you have to learn to say no. You have to learn good boundaries. You have to be okay with the discomfort that, you having boundaries might not work for someone else that has been ultimately taking advantage of you not having boundaries. So like, this is a big thing of like where empaths and clairsentients really need to learn strong boundaries, really need to learn to stand in their own truth and understand what they do need and be able to vocalize that. Because again, like, communication issues are another thing that empaths struggle with, because it's like, you can feel the emotions and ultimately some people can feel the thoughts and the sentiments of other people. So you're really usually probably very cautious about what you say or creating any kind of conflict with someone else, because one, you don't want them to feel bad, and two, you can feel that so deeply in yourself that it then makes you feel bad. So it's a bit of a challenging one there for some of the empaths. And like I said, like, another thing that I've noticed, and again, like, I put my hand up, these are all things that I have personally experienced, and this is why, like, I know so much about it, because, there was a time in my life where I'm like, why am I chronically exhausted? Why am I feeling all these things? Why am I like, my mood's up and down? Why, have I got depression? Why have I went through all the stages. But understanding the impacts of being so highly sensitive to emotions and energies around me, like, and learning the proper psychic development and protection tools has just been like a game changer. And honestly, this is why I love teaching these things to my clients, because they're just game changers for them. All of them have said to me, wow, just doing these certain things have just helped me so much. I'm not taking on X, Y, and Z. I've, my health issues are much better. I'm not feeling tired. Like, it's just wild how we don't realize the impact that other things and other people have on us, especially when we're so highly sensitive. And this is a big thing. Like, we can get just a huge amount of energetic overload, because when you're so highly attuned to the energy of everyone else, like, it's not just the energy of people, right? But also you become so sensitive. And this also happens when you do start to awaken and you do start to, your psychic senses start to come online more, your intuitive senses, your self-awareness, your levels of consciousness start to grow. This is something that also you may be going through, where you just become so much more sensitive to everything around you. So environmental factors, toxins, even like electromagnetic frequencies, EMFs. Like, this was something that I went through, like, a whole process of chucking out all of my perfumes, all of my makeup, any like toxic chemical cleaners that I still had left in the house, all of my candles. Like, I realized, like, I was getting so sensitive to things, and I'm like, why am I getting this headache? Why am I feeling like this? Why am I so fatigued? And again, just through my own tuning in psychically and asking for the answers for these things, I was told that I was becoming so sensitive that, like, even EMF frequencies in computers, in my phone, I was getting like zapped from my mobile phone. I was starting to hear the electricity run through the walls. Like, I was getting so sensitive to everything that, like, I couldn't be around or consuming anything that was remotely toxic or not aligned to like the highest frequency. So that included food, as I said, makeup, chemicals, cleaning products, even things like sugar, obviously alcohol. All of these things I just became so intensely sensitive to that I just had to like eliminate them from my life. And again, this is something that you might be going through, so I feel like that's really important to share, because you know, it's a bit of a grieving process. You know, like back in the day when I was, let's say, more unawakened, and then let's say less sensitive rather than unawakened, I loved perfume. I was a perfume whore. I had literally about 20 bottles of very expensive perfume. And once I kind of just hit this point, I gave myself 24 hours to get rid of them all. And these were like bottles that were like pretty much full. They were very expensive. And I was like, I have to just get rid of them out of my house. And so I just like literally did a huge cull. So now obviously I live like a pretty tox-free lifestyle with the things that I consume, the things that I have around me. And again, this is just something that you may be experiencing also. But it really did impact me a lot. And I noticed it like instantly. Like if I was around certain thing, or someone had sprayed something, or for example, I accidentally drank a matcha, like I downed a matcha that I bought at a cafe, and I didn't realize it had loads of sugar in it, because the matchas that I make don't have sugar in it. And because I try and be processed sugar free, I had an instant headache when someone sprayed like any kind of chemical around a building that I go into. It's like instant revulsion, and I can just feel my intuitive abilities just like shrinking. It's like it impacts my third eye so much, guys. And again, this is just something that you also may be experiencing. And then another thing that can really impact us from a health perspective, which I have mentioned before, is because empaths can feel everyone else's feelings and emotions around them, they can tend to repress their own emotions and repress their own needs and repress expressing that to other people. Because, and again, this may be unconscious. So you might be like going, oh, how can I say this to this person? Or how can I, what's the best way that's not going to upset them? Or how can I, stay away from conflict? Or, oh, I really don't want them to say something to me. Or, you might just be afraid of speaking out because of the consequences. Like, this is so common, because a lot of empaths, we just unconsciously suppress our feelings and just focus on helping other people and focusing on people pleasing. And, unfortunately, those unexpressed emotions, those unexpressed needs over time get stored in our body, get stored as trauma. And again, that contributes to the physical imbalances that we see in our health. My final words of wisdom for all of my empaths, all of my clairsentients out there, is that if you're having any kind of health issues, pain, then this is really your sign to start working with your energy. Start to learn to find a tool or technique to protect your energy, to start prioritizing your own self-care, establishing boundaries, finding your own voice. All of these things are going to help you to minimize the chronic conditions that you might be feeling. Feeling so overwhelmed is not normal. And when I say normal, it is for an empath, but it shouldn't be. And you do have the power to obviously clear a lot of the things that you've been carrying. So through energy healing, through any of the work that I do, this is what I do. We find the root cause of things and we clear it and release it, but also can teach you to protect your energy and build stronger boundaries, because, you know, you are meant to use these gifts, these beautiful gifts of compassion and empathy that you have for people. But how are you going to be able to do that in the best way when you're exhausted, when you're in pain, when you're carrying the burdens for other people? It's just never going to happen. And this gift, the gift of empathy, and then if we go into the gift of clairsentience, this is what you're meant to use as part of your purpose. And your purpose doesn't have to be your career. It could involve you using this intuitive sense in your career or with people, or the ability to read people and understand things at a deeper level. Or it could be to really align yourself with the right opportunities and to trust the signs, the messages, and the synchronicities that you're getting from the universe that are being received through your body. Like, your body for an empath is like, it's like a Wi-Fi signal, and the more that you can learn to read the signals of your body, the more that you can learn to use this and craft it into a superpower to manifest what you want, to be aligned to the right path for you to ultimately fulfill your soul's mission, because that's what you're here to do. So if that was interesting for you guys, then I'd love to hear your feedback and your comments, and don't forget to subscribe. If you want to learn more about protecting yourself as an empath, or to hone your intuition to actually create this into the gift that it is of clairsentience, as well as open all of your other psychic gifts, because yes guys, this is an intuitive psychic gift and you have it. You absolutely have it. If you want to master your psychic abilities, if you want to be able to connect and receive messages from your guides, from your higher self, from the universe, if you want to learn mediumship, if you want to understand more psychic tools, and if you want to clear the blocks and be able to manage and protect your energy, raise your vibration, and understand what is actually out of alignment in your life right now that is impacting you, your health, and the most aligned path that you can be on in this life, then check out my Rebel Psychic School. Enrollment is officially opening. Or if you want to work with me one-on-one, then, you know, there is so much we can explore, not just in your spiritual gifts, but we can go into business, money, career. There's so many areas that we can cover with one-on-one personalized support. So if you're interested in that, then you can DM me and we can chat, or you can set up a connection call for free to chat about what that would look like for you. It's a 12-week program. We can do weekly sessions or fortnightly sessions. Actually, then that would be 6 months. But yeah, there's lots of options there. And or if you want to book a one-on-one session, I obviously offer readings, healings, past life regression, future life progression, and everything in between. So if there's an area that you want clarity, want healing on, if there's an area that you want to understand lessons or growth, or understand who you are, your purpose at a deeper level, then we got you covered. Again, all the information will be in the show notes below, and I hope you've enjoyed this one as much as I have enjoyed speaking it. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care.